Hello, how's everybody? So you all know I've got goats and I milk them, and everybody asks me, do you make cheese? Well, yeah, I do. I make all sorts of cheese, some soft cheeses, I've got a couple of hard cheeses on the go, but yeah, we make cheese. We've got enough milk to do it. So I'm going to go through today because somebody asked me, I think it was Welsh Boo on the comments on the previous videos. So I'm going to go through making a cheese today. It's just a really simple soft cheese, and I add a starter culture, but you can replace the starter culture with lemon juice or white vinegar. So you don't need to go out and buy the starter, and you don't even need to use the rennet. It might just take a little bit longer to curdle. Okay, I'll go through it with you then. So first off, we need to filter the milk. This gets rid of any small pieces of dirt or hair. These are the filters I use from Goat Nutrition. I'll put a link to those below in the comments. So you just need to place your filter into your funnel, and then just gently pour your milk into the funnel. You may have to reposition the filter as you pour, and also to shift the filter around, as it does get bunched up sometimes in the bottom of the filter. And once all the milk is through, take the funnel out, pop the top on the milk and straight into the fridge if you're keeping it for drinking, or in the pan for pasteurising. So this is the recipe I'm using today from a really good book I've got, and I'll try and find a link to that for you as well. It's got loads of recipes in there and explains cheese making. So the pot that I use for pasteurising is an Instapot type thing. I'll try and find that on Amazon as well and link that for you. You can set the temperature, set the time, and it basically does it for you without scalding the bottom of the pan. I'm going to use about 3 litres of milk for this batch. Just pop it in your pot. If you don't have one of these Instapots, you can use a saucepan or a bain-marie. Now the method of pasteurisation I'm using is going to be the 45 minutes at 66 degrees. So I'll set this for 1 hour at 68 degrees to allow for warming up and just to make sure it does reach that temperature. Just set the time on this machine and press go, and it does it all for you. So after it's time at 66 degrees, you will need to wait for the milk to cool to around 30 degrees before you add your starter culture or your lemon juice or vinegar. So we need to either wait for it to cool down, or you can do what I do and pop the whole pan into a cold bath of water, and you might need to change the water out a couple of times until it gets down to 30 degrees Celsius. So once it gets down to 30 degrees Celsius, you need to add your starter culture. This is the one I use from Goat Nutrition, or your lemon juice or your vinegar. Now there's no real science to it. With the starter culture, I basically just pop a sprinkle in. It all depends on the concentration of the starter anyway, so it varies every time you make the cheese. If you're using lemon juice or vinegar, I would just put sort of 2 lemons worth of juice in, or 20 ml of vinegar. Once you've added it, you need to stir using an upwards and downwards motion for 30 seconds to ensure that the starter culture or vinegar or lemon juice is incorporated thoroughly into the whole milk. Pop the lid on and leave for 30 minutes. Then after that 30 minutes is up, you will add your rennet. Now we'll prepare our rennet in advance. So it's 2 drops of rennet in 2 tablespoons of water. The water needs to be pre-boiled and cooled. So after 30 minutes, you're going to add your pre-prepared diluted rennet. Gently pour it over a spoon, and again use an upwards and downwards motion whilst mixing to make sure that it gets incorporated throughout. Once you've done this, cover and leave in a warm place until a set has been achieved. In the meantime, sterilise a muslin or cheesecloth by boiling it 15 minutes in water. To test the set, cut it with a knife or with your finger, and it should easily pull apart and stay apart. Next, find a large saucepan or bowl, place your colander over the top of it, and then your muslin or cheesecloth to line the colander. Ladle your curds into your colander, and if you need to, pour them in to make sure you're getting all of the curds in. So once you have all of your curds in your muslin, you can tie it up, make a little parcel out of it and tie it around the top. Find somewhere to hang it from so that all the whey can drain out, and be sure to place a bowl underneath. After around 24 hours, untie the cheese. Pop the cheese out onto a board and then season it to taste. This time I've used salt and pepper. Mix all the salt and pepper in and try and pull the cheese that's been on the nearest the muslin into the centre to allow the wetter cheese closer to the outside. So you can make another parcel out of it, tie it back up and hang it for another 2 or 3 hours. Remember to put that bowl underneath to catch the whey. The salt will help with the extraction of the whey as well. The cheese is now ready to take out of its bag and pop in a storage container. have a little taste and re-season if you need to. Pop the lid on and store it in the fridge, and it should keep for up to 5 days. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. So this was just one of the number of cheese recipes I use. I'll add some more when I get the chance.